What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Wait, what? What the hell is going on? You Wednesday, you don't get to take over the show without even me starting it. What's going on, everybody? You don't get the pub cam right away. It's Mistress Carrie. Welcome to episode 273 of Cocktails in the War Room. I think we're having a technical difficulty. Can somebody check Instagram and let me know if Instagram is working? Because I don't think it is, and I'm trying to figure out why. We might have to do a very rare restart to the show if Instagram's not working. So can somebody, let me see, YouTube. I am not seeing Instagram on the feed. Let me know if it's working or not. You know, you can plan things as good as you can plan things. Is this thing on? Exactly, Mr. Cole. Exactly. I already need to take a shot, Eric. I know. I think I might need to restart the show. I think I'm at that point where I need to restart the show. What's up, Dina? Joining us on YouTube. Walter, need a reboot. Yeah, 273 says Christine. What's up, Alicia and Jason joining us on Facebook? Jason says technology. Yeah, it's not showing you live. Yeah, and I don't know why that is, because it was all set up to be live, and I don't understand why it's not working. Everything else works seamlessly. For some reason, Instagram is so temperamental, and I don't understand how to fix it. I did get word that the software that we use to run the War Room is integrating with Zoom, which is going to make it a lot easier for me to get guests on the show. So I'm super excited about that. So Keith says JFC. Yeah, exactly. All right. We may have to. Here's the thing. I either restart the show and redo everything, or we move on without Instagram tonight, which I think my Instagram is not live. Trying something new tonight, watching on YouTube tonight, says Michael Grimley. Thank you very much. It's Meta. What do you expect? Yeah, but Facebook works seamlessly, and that's Meta too. That's what I don't understand. The Instagram thing is super temperamental. There's extra mouse clicks that have to be done in a very specific order at a very specific time in order for me to get the feed to go live on everything else. But right now we're live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on Twitch. It's just another manic Monday or Tuesday, says Eric. Okay, I found you, but it shows on YouTube. Yeah, I'm on YouTube. Twitch is live as well, but for some reason, Instagram is not live, which I just don't get. And I kind of don't want to have to reboot the show because I have to redo everything if I do that. And because we're not going to have a show next week, I kind of don't want to waste our time right now. Alexa says, I had an 8-hour Zoom meeting today and couldn't get Zoom to work on my laptop. So it was an 8-hour meeting on my phone. The worst. What's up, Carol, on YouTube? Tracy says, move on. Fuck it. We'll go live, says Bish. It's got to be AI, says Melissa. Yeah, I wish, and I can't do it because the whole point of the show is that we're here in the actual War Room. But I wish that I had multiple screens like I do in MCHQ, because I think multiple screens would solve the Instagram problem. So I could have like an admin screen and then an actual show screen like I'm looking right now. Yes, Wednesday, I get it. You want to see everyone. And I don't understand why you're, where are you? Is that you, Wednesday? Can you see everybody now? Can you move back so that so everyone can see your pretty face? There you go. Can you get down? Okay, so let me welcome everybody properly. Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room, episode 273. If you're new to the War Room family, welcome. If you are watching for the first time, let us know in the comments that you're joining us here in the War Room for the first time and let us know where you're watching from. And if you're new, this is Wednesday. She's my pain in the ass co-host for 273 episodes. And the only reason she's willing to sit still and do tricks is because we bribe her with cookies. And once they're gone, she leaves unless you bribe her with prizes in the mail. Right, Wednesday? Yeah, exactly. Spoiled brat. What's up, Grace? How are you? Jessica says Linkin Park is getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and so is Ozzy Osbourne. Jessica, Linkin Park is not getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're not eligible until next year. Foreigner and Peter Frampton are getting inducted. Ozzy is getting inducted as a solo artist. The Dave Matthews Band is getting inducted. Mary J. Blige, Cher, A Tribe Called Quest. But Linkin Park has yet to be nominated because they don't qualify yet. One of the qualifications for induction is 25 years from the date of your debut album, your first release. And Linkin Park hasn't hit that yet. Matter of fact, Korn has hit it. The Deftones have hit it. Seven Dust has hit it. Slipknot will reach that milestone later this year. So Slipknot will actually be eligible for nomination for induction next year. Mark says pug butt yet the pug hole. Wednesday's just showing it off. Full thing. What would Mike Shue sew? Cole, are you drunk right now? Cookies mom, says Tracy. Wednesday is like, bitch, show me the heathens. Yeah, exactly. Can I have your paw? Thank you. Can I have your other paw? Wednesday had a play date with one of the neighbor's dogs today. And she just wanted to smell his butt a bunch. And then he lost interest in her and he left. She felt so used. Jason says, there's Wednesday. Let's see. Hello, Wednesday and MC, says Michelle. Welcome to the War Room, our new family member, says Donna. Let's see. Triumph belongs in the Rock Hall. Couldn't agree more. There's a bunch of bands that deserve to be in there, right? I think the Jay Giles Band belongs in there. I think Boston belongs in there. Iron Maiden belongs in there. I believe Pantera qualifies for induction now. They belong in there. There are a lot of bands that 100% belong in there, especially from the grunge era. I believe Alice in Chains and Soundgarden belong inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So they've got a lot of work to do, but the fact that they put Ozzy, Foreigner, and Peter Frampton in the same year, where it's been light on rock the last few years, they have not, back up Wednesday, they've been focusing, I think, on making up for lost time when it comes to a lot of non-rock artists, because it's basically a music hall of fame at this point. Dolly Parton's in there, Willie Nelson's in there. If LL Cool J and Queen Latifah are in there, it's not just rock anymore, and I'm fine with that. A lot of the artists that I talk to when I talk about this stuff on the show, they're like, look, if somebody wants to say that my band is important enough that music was different because we were there, then it would be an honor. Cher has said that because it took so long for her to get in, she doesn't want to go. But Peter Frampton is trying to goad her into going online, saying, come on, we're both in, you got to show up. Peter Frampton actually thanking Sheryl Crow, because when she got inducted last year, she invited Peter Frampton up to perform on stage with her during her induction performance. And he credits her for kind of putting him top of mind with the committee that nominates who gets voted on to get in. So Michelle says, she told the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to F off, which, look, the Oasis guys did the same thing. They were saying it before they found out they weren't even getting in. Lenny Kravitz didn't make the cut this year, although I think he's still got time. I think artists like Foreigner and Peter Frampton, Ozzy's had a solo career that has lasted 44 years, and he's finally getting in as a solo artist. He's already in the Rock Hall as a member of Black Sabbath, and that was really funny with his comment when he found out he was getting in as a solo artist, is he was like, not bad for a guy that got kicked out of his last band, which is kind of hilarious. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has still got a lot of catching up to do, but the nu metal era is about to hit not only Rock and Roll Hall of Fame eligibility level, but it's also the same criteria to be considered classic rock. Wednesday, don't be fresh. So, like, for example, Godsmack is celebrating their 25th anniversary. Godsmack is now eligible for nomination and induction, and technically, by the letter of the definition of classic rock, Godsmack is now considered classic rock, at least the first album, which is kind of crazy. What's up, Mr. Parker, joining us on Facebook? Has the White Stripes been inducted? I don't believe they qualify, do they? So the cutoff right now in 2024 would be 99. So Slipknot hits that milestone this year. Godsmack has already hit it. They released their debut album at the end of 98. Come on, over here. Sevendust released their first album in 97. Korn is hitting 30 years this year. So they have been eligible for a few years now. Rage Against the Machine. I mean, when you look at these bands, I think the Smashing Pumpkins belongs in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they are eligible. Who will induct Ozzy into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Bish wants to know. So I think Zakk Wylde is going to be there. I believe wholeheartedly that Ozzy is going to find a way to perform at his induction Wednesday. The cookies are all gone, and now you're being fresh. No more cookies. Come on. No more. I think Ozzy is 100% going to do PT 3 times a day until the induction ceremony on October 19th, because he's going to want to play. He's going to want to perform. He's going to want to not let his injury kind of dictate something as monumental as getting inducted for the second time, because there aren't that many artists that have been inducted multiple times. Tina Turner's in there twice, part of Ike and Tina Turner, and then as a solo artist. Stevie Nicks is inducted as a member of Fleetwood Mac and then as a solo artist. Dave Grohl obviously is a member of Nirvana and the Foo Fighters, but getting inducted twice is a huge deal. And the fact that Ozzy is so well known for kind of inventing the genre of heavy metal with Black Sabbath, and because of the contentious relationships over the years with the guys in Sabbath and Ozzy and Sharon, I think Ozzy, he even said it when he commented. He's like, my solo career has actually been longer than my career in the band. And so this means something more, that I'm getting inducted for the work after I was kicked out of Black Sabbath, which is kind of crazy, right? When you think about it, that Ozzy's career, that he got kicked out of Black Sabbath and he got more popular. It's just as unlikely as Bon Scott dying and AC/DC getting a new lead singer and becoming a bigger band and releasing Back in Black, which, same thing with Sammy Hagar and David Lee Roth. They actually sold more albums with Sammy, I believe, than they did with David Lee Roth. So to have a rebirth of career that eclipses the career you had is almost unheard of. And of course, Ozzy was going to be the one to do it. Hi, Annie Ange. Annie Ange says, I think I met Sevendust 25 years ago. I was talking about this on the air the other day because I was playing Monster Magnet on the air, and I need to tell this Annie Ange story because it involves my mom and it's hilarious. So about 24 years ago, maybe something like that, Monster Magnet was on tour with Stained and Sevendust, and they played the Palladium. And they did this thing where they released a certain amount of tickets, and if you brought your mom got in free. And so I thought it would be hilarious if my mom and Annie Ange went to the show with me. And so I drove to pick them up. They came outside in leather pants, ready to go to the rock show at the Palladium with Monster Magnet. This is when Stained was still a new band. And Seven Dust was there. And so I got Mom and Auntie Ange backstage passes, and I took them to the meet and greets and introduced them to all the bands. And so I have pictures with Mom and Auntie Ange with the guys in Stained, pictures of Mom and Auntie Ange with Seven Dust. And then I introduced them to Dave Windorf from Monster Magnet. And because it was Mother's Day and they knew, he knew exactly why I was bringing them or whatever. I have a picture of Dave Windorf after he got off stage, all sweaty, with my mom and Auntie Ange. And at the last minute, as I'm taking a picture with what I believe is a digital camera, it may have actually been one of those disposable film cameras because I think I had to have the photos developed. Right at the last minute, Dave Windorf grabbed Mom and Auntie Ange's asses. And it's still an epic story. Like, hilarious. Only Mom and Auntie Ange would that happen to. Bish says, we'll just skip over Gary Cherone singing for Van Halen. Look, if you go back and listen to the Kevin Martin from Candlebox episode of the podcast that I recorded the day we got the news that Eddie Van Halen had passed, Kevin Martin talked about playing golf with Eddie Van Halen, and the two of them played 18 and rode around in the car together. And he said that Eddie Van Halen had regrets, not about Gary Cherone being in Van Halen, but that he felt like they didn't execute the songs that they wrote to the level that he should have, because he was like, those songs are really, really good. We just didn't do a good job of recording them and getting them out. And so I think if you're going to look at Eddie Van Halen as the GOAT, then I don't think you can slight Gary Cherone for being asked by Eddie Van Halen to sing in his band. Eddie Van Halen has regrets about the carrying out of those song ideas that they wrote together, Gary and Eddie. So no disrespect to Gary and his Van Halen time at all. Tracy says, Space Lord, love it. Cole wants to know if Auntie Ange is going to the big gig. That's up to Auntie Ange. Auntie Ange is welcome anywhere Auntie Ange wants to go. Larry Parker says, finally, Larry and Danielle are in the house. What's up, Larry and Danielle? Emily says, hey, sorry I'm late, but hello. She would not let us in the mosh pit. No. So my mom and Auntie Ange wanted to go in the mosh pit at the Palladium for Seven Dust. And I was like, absolutely not. Because all I could think about, because you guys know what those mosh pits were like in the late 90s, is that girls would go crowd surfing and they would get full blown molested while they were crowd surfing. And I was like, if anybody tries to, other than Dave Windorf, molest my mom and Auntie Ange, I'm going to end up in cuffs. I'm going to end up beating somebody up, and it's not going to happen. So I strictly forbade Mom and Auntie Ange from going in the mosh pit. I stand by that decision, Auntie Ange. I stand by that. What's up, Jerry Dyer? Saying, hey, how are things going? Let's see. Jessica says, don't forget Bon Jovi's Thank You, Good Night. The Bon Jovi story debuts Friday night on Hulu. I cannot wait. The 4-part docuseries. See, there you go. Bon Jovi celebrating their 40th anniversary. They're already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, to bring it back around to the Rock Hall where we started the conversation. So yeah, I'm super excited. You guys know what a huge Bon Jovi fan I am. So I'm super excited that the Bon Jovi docuseries is out. Ryan Glavin joining us. What's up, everyone? He says, Lou says, you can't. Gary Cherone is a great vocalist. He rocked Wembley Stadium. The 32nd anniversary, by the way, of the Freddie Mercury tribute concert. I posted it up on my Facebook page because Extreme absolutely killed it. Absolutely killed it, stole the show. And they were a baby band when they were asked to pay tribute to Freddie Mercury, and they were spectacular. And Gary Cherone did an unbelievable job of commanding that crowd the way that Freddie Mercury famously did at Wembley at Live Aid. So Mom and Auntie Ange must be protected at all costs, says Donna. Exactly. Will they ever tour again? It would be great. Jerry, who are you talking about touring? Are you talking about AC/DC? Who are you? Monster Magnet? We talked about a lot of bands just then. I've seen the previews and it looks interesting. So I'm definitely watching it. Ronnie James Dio, Rainbow, Black Sabbath, Dio, my favorite singer. Yeah, he's fantastic. Ronnie James Dio, fantastic. I wish I knew earlier. I would have helped at the big gig. It's all good, honey Ange. It's all good. It's a very late night, and we know how squirrely everybody gets at the big gig. Bon Jovi. Will they tour again? I believe they will. John Bon Jovi is talking about how his voice is recovering from surgery. He has gone up and sung. He just doesn't want to tour until he can do like 4 nights a week of 3 hours a night performances. And he says that his voice just isn't that strong. They've got a new record coming out in June and he sang on the record. It's just that he had to pace himself because his voice is still recovering. I believe Bon Jovi will tour again. Will Richie Sambora rejoin Bon Jovi and tour with the band? I kind of thought the docuseries, because Richie's in the docuseries, I thought for sure that by now they would have talked about it. And I guess Richie got interviewed for the docuseries separately than John, and they haven't spoken. So I don't know what's going on. He looks good at 62, 100%. Matt wants to know, have you ever heard of Native Howl? Yes, I have, as a matter of fact. Matt on YouTube. Let's see. Eric says Annie Ange can be like Donna Kelsey at the big gig and sell cookies. She has sold my merch the last 2 years at the big gig. I will have you know. Here's a question. Will Bon Jovi still root for the Pats now that Bill is gone? I believe that John Bon Jovi's relationship is with the Crafts and with Bill. But I believe John Bon Jovi is still a Patriots fan. I thankfully. Jessica wants to know how mom is doing. She's doing okay. Thank you. She's, there's no real changes. And I guess no changes is a good thing. It's not going to change for the better. So we might as well keep it from changing for the worse. When is Ozzy going to come back in concert, do you think? Patrick, I don't think he's going to. Rumor has it he's going to do 2 farewell shows in Birmingham, England, his hometown. I can see him performing at the induction for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but I do not believe that Ozzy is ever going to tour again. I just don't think physically he can do it. Do I think it would be possible for Ozzy to maybe do a residency in Vegas? I think he could pull that off. He doesn't want to go on stage if he can't walk, if he doesn't have the stamina to be on his feet. I'm fine with Ozzy sitting in a throne. He's the Prince of Darkness. Let the man sit in a throne. But he's competing against his own performances. And Ozzy wants to be able to perform the way Ozzy performs. And so I think he's trying to build up his strength. It wouldn't surprise me if around the induction, they announced the farewell shows in Birmingham, England. And I could see them live streaming those shows around the world, either, getting it sponsored by a big money sponsor or selling tickets to watch the final Ozzy shows. But I don't think he's ever going to tour on a grand scale ever again. Unfortunately, we can still thank Post Malone for getting Ozzy back into the recording studio for Ordinary Man. Well, that's true. And Billy Morrison, Billy Idol's longtime guitarist, because Ozzy is back on the radio with Billy Morrison's song Crack Cocaine off the album that came out last week. I have to turn Wednesday's camera on because she's at war with the pillows right now. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you drunk? You're sitting around a lot of beverages right now. Are you drunk? Huh? Are you drinking? What are you doing? Are you drunk? Hold I had to fix the pug cam a little. Are you causing trouble or can you just sit nicely? Sit nicely. I don't have any more cookies. There aren't any, see? There's no more. Let's see. Matt says, Ozzy looks like he chickened out halfway through gender reassignment surgeries these days. My God. Dude, the guy is like in his late 70s with Parkinson's and has partied harder in a weekend than any of us will in our whole lives. He's definitely letting the gray come out, which is interesting for Ozzy, that he's embracing the gray hair, which is kind of a different look for him. But whatever, man, he's Ozzy. As far as I'm concerned, he can do no wrong. Let's see. Ozzy, sponsored by the Mistress Carrie podcast. Look, the Rolling Stones are touring, sponsored by AARP. I'm sure Ozzy could find a bigger sponsor than the Mistress Carrie podcast very easily. I hope Slipknot will come and tour in this area, says Jerry. Jerry, your wish is going to happen. Slipknot just announced a couple shows in November in Mexico City. And they are playing some of the biggest festivals of the year in the U.S. And in between the U.S. festivals and the Mexican shows that they just announced today, there's a lot of time off. And a band like Slipknot, with all of the members and all of the production and everything they got going on, they're not going to put that tour together to do a few festivals and then pull it off the road and then send it to Mexico. So it would be my educated guess that we're going to get a big announcement from Slipknot coming in the next few weeks, that they're going to announce their big 25th anniversary tour. They really want to they've been hinting. They have a website, youcan'tkillme.com. They've been hinting a lot about their 25th anniversary. And I think Slipknot's going to make a big concert announcement for North America very soon. The Stones got AARP. Ozzy can get Metamucil. Depends presents The Prince of Darkness. Whatever gets Ozzy to play live, I'm fine. Because his voice is fine. That's what's crazy. He's also going to have a new internet show with Billy Morrison that launches by the end of this month. They're going to be like commenting on internet videos and stuff, which is going to be cool. So how's Corey's mental health lately, Carrie? Well, Corey has been kind of, quiet on social media. I don't think Corey would be going out on the road with Slipknot if he wasn't healthy. Corey's been sober for a while. He has been very vocal about challenges. He's got kids, he got divorced, he got remarried. That alone would be a lot for somebody to deal with. But then Corey's got 2 bands and a solo project and all of these collaborate. Corey Taylor is on that Billy Morrison album, The Morrison Project, that came out last week. So I think Corey's good. I just think that he needed a break and needed to kind of, people think that it's easy being on tour, and it's actually something that gets talked about in this week's episode of the podcast. And I'll tell you who my guest is going to be in a couple of minutes. But Alex Lifeson from Rush came out recently because there were a lot of rumors that he and Geddy Lee were going to get a different drummer, go out under a different name, and like Lifeson Lee or something like that, because they said they would never tour under the name Rush again without Neil Peart for obvious reasons. And Alex Lifeson came out recently and said, you know what? I'm not interested in touring right now because I don't want to sit around a hotel all day to go to work for 2 or 3 hours. And so what I think a lot of people don't understand about musicians that tour is how lonely it is, because they're alone so much. They have sound check, they have meet and greets, they do interviews and social media stuff, but they're on the bus for hours and hours and hours. They're in the hotel for hours and hours and hours. They are surrounded by people that will give them whatever they want, and drugs and alcohol further depression. So you've got these guys that are so isolated when they go out on the road, because the more famous they are, the less they can actually go out and do something. You know, you can't just go for a jog when you are ridiculously famous. And it can be really isolating. I mean, look at somebody like Taylor Swift or J-Lo or, you know, Beyonce or, you know, I mean, even an older artist like Robert Plant, like that guy just can't go to 7-Eleven. Maybe, you know, he'd be able to sneak in and out of a place every now and again, but, and the world is so crazy. There's all this video of what the hell is his name? Alex, I'll think of it in a second, who just got in a fight with a woman at a coffee shop because she was like camera in his face, screaming at him about Palestine and all. Like, it's very isolating for these guys. And on top of it, they are hearing that their kids miss them, and they're missing plays and recitals and birthdays and holidays. And I totally understand why musicians struggle with mental health stuff the way that they do, because, you know, just the comfort of like coming home and snuggling, or Alec Baldwin, that's who I was thinking of. It was Alec Baldwin. Like the comfort of coming home and sleeping in your own bed, like having dinner with your family, like they have to wait months to do that stuff. And look, there's a lot of bonuses to being a rock star. Don't get me wrong. It's not a whole pity party for those guys, because there's a lot of great things that come with it too. But if you are struggling with sobriety or mental health, being out on the road can be really, really hard. Let's see. Samuel says, "Hey, Carrie, it's Pappy. What's up? Road trip to see Mr. C. Yeah, it's a little bit easier for me when he's in the United States, for sure." Let's see. Alec Baldwin. Yeah, that's who I meant. That a woman followed him into a coffee shop and was like, you know, trying to get him to say free Palestine, and like was getting in his face. And then he slapped the phone out of her hand. And now she's crying and trying to get him brought up on assault charges. And it's like, you were accosting this guy and not leaving him alone. And I think people, when they're live streaming now, think that they're, you know, untouchable now. And it's like, how would anybody feel if somebody was coming up and doing that to you? After a while, you'd probably start throwing punches too. Let's see. Is it true that Limp Bizkit is coming back? Patrick, that tour got announced a while ago. It's called Loserville. Limp Bizkit's going to be at the Xfinity Center this summer. Check out the concert calendar at mistresscarrie.com. It's all up there for you. All right, so we got a lot to talk about. So first of all, last week I was on Kerrigan and Company with Kim Kerrigan, and I want to thank her for letting me be on episode 13. If you haven't watched it yet, you can go to my blog at mistresscarrie.com. We talked to Jeff Kinney, who is the author of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, who's from Massachusetts, by the way. So it was really cool to get to meet him. We also talked about the home base program with General Hammond, who is the executive director, who also was the general when I was in Afghanistan. That's my friend Beth, who ran the marathon last week. Way to go, Beth. And she did it for Team Home Base. And of course, that's Kim Kerrigan right there. So if you haven't checked out Kerrigan and Company, you can just go to the blog at mistresscarrie.com, and my interview is up there, episode 13. All right, want to remind you about some events coming up, because I got a charity event that I want to tell you guys about that just got confirmed as well. So the big gig is coming up on Saturday at the DCU Center. Stain Seether, Asking Alexandria, and Tim Montana. I believe doors open at 5:30 at the DCU Center. Mike Shue and I are going to be there to host it. So get there early. Make sure you see Tim Montana. His new album, Savage, is coming out in July. He was on the podcast last week. Don't miss Tim Montana. The official after party is happening at Off the Rails on Commercial Street with Papercut, the Linkin Park tribute band. Separate tickets for this. Both of these are up on the events calendar, so you can get your tickets. And then later on this summer, July 28th at Indian Ranch, the Pikes Annual Hair Fest. And then also they just announced Rockfest as well. That's going to be August 31st. I'll give you all the details on that in the next episode. But Hairfest is coming up in July. Just keep your eyes on the concert and event calendar at mistresscarrie.com. Super excited next week. Guys, don't forget, no Cocktails in the War Room next Tuesday. I am going to be broadcasting live from the Tailgate Tour up in Portland, Maine with Stained, Seether, Saint Asonia, and Tim Montana for 106.3 The Bone. And that's going to be next Tuesday. So I'm going to be up in Portland. So no Cocktails in the War Room next Tuesday. It will return the Tuesday after. So super excited to go and do my first remote live broadcast for The Bone. So if you're up in the Portland area, I will see you up there. This just got confirmed and I'm really, really excited about it. So this is happening at Florian Hall, and they reached out to me and asked me to be a judge for this. So it's called America's Funniest Firefighter, the New England Regional Finals. So these firefighters get paired up with professional comedians, and they are going to compete for a $5,000 grand prize and bragging rights to be the funniest firefighter in New England. It's happening May 17th at Florian Hall, I believe from 7 to 10. And all of the money, it's a benefit to help with firefighters that are battling cancer. So this is going to be at Florian Hall in Boston. I put the link to get your tickets. The QR code, all of that is up on the event calendar. It's May 17th at Florian Hall. I was super excited that they asked me to be one of the judges. And one of the firefighters, one of the finalists is from Leominster, which I couldn't believe. I don't know if they were trying to stack the deck in his favor by asking me to be one of the judges, but I think it's really, really cool. So if you love comedy, if you want to support firefighters, if you want to laugh and help me pick the funniest firefighter in America, come to Florian Hall on May 17th and help me vote. So there you go. Details up on the event calendar at mistresscarrie.com. All right, hold on. So I did not set up a cocktail this week. So I'm going to flip through the book and stick my finger in it. Ready? Trying to see if there's something in here we haven't done yet. Okay. Cherry Alexander. We landed in the C's tonight. A Cherry Alexander is 2 ounces of cherry brandy. For anybody that's new to the War Room, by the way, we always go through a cocktail recipe to raise our mixology skills a little bit. So the Cherry Alexander is 2 ounces of cherry brandy, an ounce of white cream de cocoa, and an ounce of heavy cream. Shake the ingredients and then strain into a martini glass and serve. The obvious accoutrement is going to be cherries. You have to put cherry. It doesn't even say garnish. You have to garnish with a cherry. How can you make a Cherry Alexander with cherry brandy and not garnish it with a cherry? That doesn't make any sense. 2 cherries. 3 on a little sword if you want. But that's called the Cherry Alexander. So there you go. Usually I set up a cocktail ahead of time. Tonight I didn't. So there you go. Stick your finger where, Jonathan wants to know. Oh, you guys are so dirty. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Voorhees says it's getting difficult to find a cocktail we haven't done already. Yeah, because it's been 273 episodes of Cocktails in the War Room. Add a shot of rum or a vodka too. Yeah, why not, David Parker? Just put all the booze in there. We don't need to make any plans. Cherry Twizzlers, that could be interesting. Actually, if you split the Twizzler down the side, like a pool noodle, because it's got the channel, you could wrap the Twizzler around the rim of the glass. That's fancy as fuck right there. Okay, let's recap last week's podcast episode because we got a lot to talk about. Tim Montana, episode 202, his new album, Savage, coming out in July. He's out on the Tailgate tour. He's business partners with Billy Gibbons. He has come to the dark side. He tried to make it as a country artist in Nashville for like 15 years. And they told him that he was too rough around the edges. They told him that he was too rock. And then he recorded a rock song. And now he's releasing a rock album. And he's out on the Tailgate tour with Stained and Seether and Saint Asonia. There you go. I said to him, like, we've claimed you now. And he was like, I'm all about it. I'm all in. The rock community's embraced me. I am in. So he's already been on the show twice, and he's an absolute blast. If you didn't hear the episode yet, he talks about getting charged by a mama elk and her baby. Hilarious. The Wise River Club is the Roadhouse like bar, live music venue, and old school hotel that he purchased with Billy Gibbons. And he talks about the European cyclists that like come to the United States to do like mountain trails. It's like a bucket list thing, I guess. And a lot of them are staying at the Wise River Club now. So yeah, if you haven't checked out episode 202, definitely got to check out Tim Montana. I think if you like Southern rock, I think if you like blues-infused rock, if you're a fan of bands like ZZ Top, then you're going to love Tim Montana. Get to the big gig and the Tailgate tour early. Do not miss Tim Montana. This week's guest is also going to be in New England this weekend, and I don't get to see him because I'm going to be at the big gig on Saturday night. But Saturday night, Pop Evil is going to be at Aura in Portland. I talked to Lee Caccati. This is his third appearance on the show. He was on episode 53. Then he was on episode 143. And now he's on episode 203. I don't know what it is with threes. And now it's his third appearance. But Lee Caccati and Pop Evil are going back on the road. I think the first show of their tour is tomorrow. And then they're going to be in Portland this weekend. So Lee wanted to check in and talk about replacing drummer Haley Kramer, working on their 8th studio album, talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And he and I actually talked a lot about mental health and depression and touring and isolation and how the rock community is kind of at the forefront of talking about mental illness, mental health, suicide prevention. You guys know that Lee has been an old friend of mine for a really, really long time. So I was super excited that he wanted to come back on the show. So episode 203 of the Mistress Carrie podcast features Lee Caccati from Pop Evil, and it goes live at midnight tonight. Now, when you subscribe to the Mistress Carrie podcast, you get the weekly episodes. And by the way, I'm just going to put this out there. Even the Mistress Carrie backstage pass holders don't know this yet, because it just got confirmed before the War Room started, which is one of the reasons why I was so hectically trying to click buttons. There is a bonus episode coming on Friday of the podcast, but I haven't recorded it yet. So I don't want to tell you who it is and then have something get screwed up and have it not happen. But there is a bonus episode of the podcast that I am supposed to record on Thursday night that is supposed to go live on Friday. Fingers crossed it all happens. So if you subscribe to the podcast, you get the weekly episodes on Wednesdays. You get bonus episodes whenever I get them to release. And then Monday through Friday, you get the sit rep with the rock news, music headlines, entertainment updates around 5 minutes, sometimes 6, sometimes 4.5, sometimes it's 9. It just depends on how busy we are. And all of the different places you can listen to the Mistress Carrie podcast. There's like 50 different outlets, 50 different podcast apps. You can also listen to all of the episodes in audio format only right now on YouTube. And also, you can just go to mistresscarrie.com and you can listen to all the episodes right there. Just click play on whatever episode you want to listen to. No technological skills necessary. I made it as easy as possible for you. I don't know why they keep trying to send me to Canada. All right, we're still holding strong at 149 countries. I got to be honest, I'm starting to lose hope that we're going to get our 150th country. I'm starting to lose faith in you, Africa. There's a couple countries in South America, but most of it is in Asia and Africa, and it's only 149 countries. Really wanted that 150th country. All right, if you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday. Cheers to you. You're sharing it with Steve Clark from Def Leppard. You are also sharing it with Captain Sensible and Roy Orbison. Captain Sensible, of course, from The Damned. So cheers. Happy unbirthday, Keith. And I also would ask you guys toast with me one piece of amazing good news that my family got this afternoon. My sister Karen, who you guys have met if you've been to some of the appearances and events. My sister has been going to school, working towards a master's at Harvard. Got to brag a little bit for my sister. And she got word today that her thesis has a passing grade and therefore she graduates next month from Harvard. She doesn't have the exact grade yet. That's not going to be posted for a couple of weeks, but they have to let you know that you can graduate. And so my sister got word today that her thesis received a passing grade and she's getting her master's from Harvard. So happy unbirthday, Keith. Cheers to my sister. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. And happy birthday to everybody that's celebrating birthdays today. Yeah, my sister's been working full time and working in the medical field and has been working towards this degree for a really long time. And, navigating things like COVID, working in the medical industry, navigating my mom's illness. None of this has been easy for my sister the last few years. Life hasn't been easy for any of us, but she's been working so hard and, was so stressed about getting her thesis done and compiling data and all of that. And she got the email today that she graduates next month. So I'm going to be taking a few days off next month to be able to go to her graduation and be able to do the whole celebrating and whatever thing. So I'm really excited about that. So thank you guys for all of the love from my sister. She's graduating from Harvard. She is such a badass and I'm super, super proud of her. Her and I have been through a lot over the last 4 years, both professionally, personally, just trying to navigate mom's diagnosis and all of that. And we've been leaning on each other a lot. And so to be able to celebrate a victory, is pretty spectacular. So I'm really, really excited to see her cross the finish line on something that she has been working on for years. My family is just super, super proud. Okay, let's go over some music news. Serj Tankian's memoir, Down with the System, coming out in a couple of weeks on May 14th. AC/DC adding the Pretty Reckless to their European tour. Their management saying if the European tour goes well, then yes, AC/DC wants to stay out on the road for the next few years and tour the world, but they've got to get through Europe first. So fingers crossed that the European dates are going to go well. Motley Crue has announced their new song, Dogs of War, one of the 4 songs they worked on with super producer Bob Rock, is coming out this Friday. Cage the Elephant has got their new album, Neon Pill, coming out on May 19th. And Slash, His new album, Orgy of the Damned, is coming out on May 17th. The first single, speaking of AC/DC, features Brian Johnson from AC/DC and Steven Tyler. But then they go and cover a Peter Green era Fleetwood Mac song, and he gets Chris Stapleton to sing it. That's single number 2. When Slash calls in favors, he calls them in a major way. Okay, shows coming to the area. TD Garden, Incubus, the Morning View Tour, August 31st. Here's another band celebrating a massive anniversary. Weezer, celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Blue Album, which is their debut album, to go back to what we're talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Weezer's been eligible for induction for 5 years and haven't even been nominated. Jelly Roll has got his show rolling into the Garden September 26th. 21 Pilots, Jeff Lynne's ELO, and the Black Keys are all coming this fall as well. We're constantly putting shows up on the events calendar at mistresscarrie.com, by the way. So any of the shows that we talk about, if they're in New England, the dates and the links are up in the calendar. The big gig is this weekend at the DCU Center. Mike Shue and I are going to be there. And then Silver Scream Con, that is going to be at the DCU September 13th through the 15th. And Iron Maiden is going to be at the DCU coming up November 6th. I believe that show sold out, but there may still be a few single tickets left available. Coming up on May 14th, Starset's Immersion Tour. That's going to be at Big Night Live in downtown Boston. The Xfinity Center. Remember we were talking earlier about Limp Bizkit? They're on here. Where are they? Foreigner, Leonard. Hold on. There they are right there. July 31st. So we got Hardy, Alanis, Limp, Styx and Foreigner. Styx and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees, Foreigner. The Doobie Brothers, ZZ Top and Lynyrd Skynyrd, 30 Seconds to Mars. Creed played their first shows together over the weekend in 12 years on the first of the 2 Summer of 99 cruises. They did 2 different set lists. And according to all of the fan shot video that got put up online, they sounded great. So Creed's Summer of 99 tour with Three Doors Down and Finger 11. That's going to be August 21st. Cage the Elephant, August 22nd. Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie. That is, by the way, with Filter and Ministry are on that lineup. And Korn. All of those shows are going to be at the Xfinity Center, and they are all on sale now. Greta Van Fleet at Mohegan, August 2nd, and Godsmack, Nothing More, and Flat Black are not going to be in Massachusetts. They have got 2 shows in New England, and they're both right here. The Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion on the 25th, and the Main Savings Amphitheater up in Bangor on July 26th. Yes, Karen is wicked smart. Bish says, I went to Harvard for a game, but I went to Harvard, he says. Yes, you did. And no one can take that away from you. Leader Bank Pavilion, I Prevail in Hailstorm, July 16th. Slash's Blues Tour, the Serpents Festival. That's August 1st. The 311 Unity Tour with AWOL Nation and Neon Trees is August 7th. And Bush's Loaded Greatest Hits Tour with Jerry Cantrell and Candlebox. That is going to be on August 24th. We are going to be very busy with concerts in August. And there's so many more shows that haven't been announced yet that are coming. Dead Poets Society coming up fast at Sinclair on May 6th. The Stones are going to be at Gillette at the end of May on the 30th. Sponsored by AARP. And Metallica at Gillette Stadium coming up August 2nd and August 4th. Fenway's concert series this year, a lot of rock. Hootie and the Blowfish, Collective Soul, Bare Naked Ladies, and Edwin McCain. That's coming up June 21st. The Foos at Fenway, that one is sold out, as is Green Day. Those 2 are completely sold out. Blink-182 on July 23rd. Def Leppard and Journey with Heart on August 5th. And then Pearl Jam, who released their 12th studio album last Friday, Dark Matter. And, you know, it would be a huge deal, Pearl Jam coming out with an album, except they released an album the same day as Taylor Swift. So it's totally a different world. Pearl Jam, 2 shows at Fenway, September 15th and 17th. Can't wait for the big gigs, says Alicia Marie. Any news on Papa Roach? Well, they just filmed a celebrity episode of Family Feud with Daughtry to raise money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Jacoby Shaddix also saying that the writing for the new Papa Roach album is going great, and they're using 2024, in his words, to pull the elastic back and slingshot into 2025. So I would imagine we are going to get new Papa Roach, at least a new song on the radio, probably by the end of the year, and then a massive year-long tour in 2025. And by the way, Shinedown's working on their new album, and Brent Smith from Shinedown said this week that a collaboration on the new Shinedown album with Jelly Roll is probably going to happen, which is going to be amazing. All right, at the Palladium, coming up on Saturday night, while we're going to be at the DCU, Queensryche and Armored Saint are going to be at the Palladium. Maylene and the Sons of Disaster are going to be there on May 18th. And the NoFX finale tour, August 31st and September 1st at Campanelli Stadium in Brockton. All of those shows on sale. And it's going to be a busy week. Judas Priest is going to be at the MGM Music Hall at Fenway coming up on Thursday. The Black Crowes are going to be there over the weekend. Bad Religion and Social D on May 7th. Gary Clark Jr. June 7th. Kings of Leon on September 16th. And Sting is going to be there on October 4th. Right, Wednesday? She's kind of sitting here letting me rub her belly. Say hi to everyone. Yeah? You're just going to sit there and let me rub your belly? Okay. All right, let's see. M72 Baby says, Mr. Cole, will Sean Kinney be accompanying Jerry Cantrell? I don't know who Jerry's bringing out with his solo band, but he's got a new solo album coming, and Duff McKagan is going to be on the album. I think he's on 4 songs after Jerry Cantrell was on a bunch of songs on Duff McKagan's solo album, Lighthouse, that came out last year. Let's see. I'm going to miss Queensryche, Christine. I know. I'm going to be next door at the big gig. Tracy says, Amaze Balls, Jelly, and Shinedown. It's going to be huge. It's going to be massive. And I think it's going to be one of those things that really cements Jelly Roll in the rock world, is having a rock song come out with Shinedown. I think it's going to be a massive collaboration. And I think they're doing it for a dual purpose, right? It's going to help cement Jelly Roll at rock, and it's going to expose Shinedown because you know they're going to release that song to country. And now that A Symptom of Being Human from Shinedown is already crossing over to a lot of pop stations, Shinedown's got a lot of plans for this year and next year. Let's see. Okay. House of Blues, Architects, May 6th, Black Veil Brides, May 8th, Rival Sons and Clutch on September 17th, and Hatebreed with Carcass, Harm's Way, and Crypta, that's coming up September 27th. And then at the Paradise, Keith Wallen, Infinity Now is his new solo album that comes out next month. Keith Wallen, the guitarist from Breaking Benjamin, he's going to be at the Paradise Rock Club coming up July 22nd. City Winery has got 10,000 Maniacs this week on the 28th, and then Hawthorne Heights on May 6th. And A Day to Remember, The Story So Far, and 4 Years Strong are going to be at the all-new stage at Suffolk Downs. This is happening Friday, June 28th, and a massive just redo of a downtown Boston venue. Not really downtown, but you know what I mean, in the city, close to the casino. This is going to be insane. So those tickets are all on sale as well. And then music news when it comes to new releases. This is all coming out on Friday. So Billy Idol is re-releasing Rebel Yell to celebrate its 40th anniversary. Can't believe it's 40. Accept is releasing... hold on, I can't read it because of the glare. Accept are releasing Humanoid. Billy Idol's releasing Rebel Yell, the 40th anniversary box set. Def Leppard are also celebrating a 40th anniversary because the 40th anniversary box set for Pyromania comes out this Friday. Neil Young and Crazy Horse releasing Fucking Up is the name of his album. The Pet Shop Boys releasing Loneliness. St. Vincent releasing All Born Screaming. And Tom York is releasing Confidenza, the music for the film. So this is all coming out on Friday. There are still tickets available for the second Metallica show, Jason wants to know. There may be, but I can't imagine that by the time the show rolls around that those are going to be available. So if you want to go see Metallica in August, I would get your tickets now, because the closer it gets, they're definitely going to sell out, especially once like the 10-day forecast comes out. Any tickets that are left available, if people think it's going to be sunny and nice and they're like, screw it, let's just go see Metallica, they're both going to be sold out by the time the band gets here. Yes, F-bomb Tracy. Okay, mail call this week. No mail call this week. So there you go. That was easy. Nothing in the mail this week. I will tell you, though, that those pistachio and like cranberry, those biscottis, marathon runners love those. I will just tell you. I had a house full of runners that were staying here for the marathon last week, and I had that giant cookie jar with all of those biscottis in it. Gone, just like that. Okay, super excited about the merch drop this weekend. So you guys already know about the travel blanket, the fleece Mistress Carrie travel blanket. That is available in the online shop. The new baby onesies in time for Father's Day, and the new shirts, which, by the way, match the baby onesies. They're a little bit darker than they appear on the website. That's why I wanted to wear it on the show. The sleeves are totally black. The body of the shirt is a very, very dark gray. And I wanted to do something that the 3/4 shirts, everybody loves the black sleeved ones and the purple sleeved ones, but the body is white. And I wanted to do something with the new artwork. And I wanted to do them in the 3/4 sleeves because people love them so much. I love them because it's like, is it cold? Is it not cold? Can I roll them up a little bit if I get warm? Can I pull them down if I get a little cooler? I've been wearing these shirts since I was a kid. I love them. And so I wanted to do something unlike the white and purple and white and black ones with the flamed Mistress Carrie art on the front. Those have nothing on the back. These have the artwork on the back that is also on the new hoodies. Pullover hoodies. You said you wanted them. I made them. Go and get them. They're in the online store. So the front is the same new artwork. The sleeves of the hoodies have got the barbed wire down the sleeves, as opposed to the zip-up hoodies that have the purple flames down the sleeves. And then the back, so badass. Is the skull. And this is what is on the back of the shirt I'm wearing right now. How cool is that? So the shirts, the pullover hoodies, the new dad baby onesies that match these, and the travel blankets, which are great for your car, great for your saddlebags, great to take to barbecues, picnics, kids' soccer games. It rolls up onto itself with a Velcro closure. It's got a handle on it to make it easy to carry. All of this stuff is up in the online Mistress Carrie store and will all be available at the Big Gig, which I'm super excited about on Saturday night. So come and find me at the Mistress Carrie booth at the Big Gig. Can you take it off so we can see it better? No. Pervert? No. I'm sure Wednesday can wear it. The force is strong with this one. Let's see. Just ordered mine today, says Melissa. Fantastic. Carrie, love the hoodie. How big is the large? Lost a lot of weight. Don't want it draped on me. So this one, hold on, let me check the tag because I think it's combo fabric. I don't think it's 100% cotton. So hold on, let me check the tag. I can't read it. Okay, so it's 80% cotton. So it will maybe shrink a little bit, but it's not 100%. This is a medium. because this one's actually mine. So I normally wear like a medium in unisex like sweatshirts and shirts. So this is a medium. Got to leave boob room, obviously. And I don't want my sweatshirts like super tight because normally when I wear a hoodie, I've got a shirt on underneath it. I would think anything bigger than a large is going to be too big for you, but I would hate for you to get a medium and for it to shrink a little bit and then it looks like a smedium on you. I like my hoodies a little big anyway, but I understand that, you just lost a bunch of weight and you want to be able to show it off a little bit and you don't want to hide it under a big bulky sweatshirt. So I'm not sure what to tell you as far as like, these are standard sizes. So I think whatever size all of the other hoodies that you wear are, that's what I would get. And obviously if you ever needed to exchange it, I can always exchange it for you. So, but super excited about the new hoodies. I think they're badass. I've been mailing them out like crazy. I have been trying to get these orders shipped out as fast as possible, as soon as they come in, because I know people are buying them because they want to get them before the big gig. And I want to see everybody in them. So don't forget, when you get your stuff, make sure that you take pictures and you send them to me as well. Eric says, Carrie, you're turning into the metal QVC. I guess. Look, you got to hustle, man. You got to hustle. And for me, I try to make stuff that I'm going to use. I try to make stuff that I would want. I try to make stuff that looks really cool, that's durable, that I think people would want to have. And so, radio stations have their own gear. Why can't I have my own gear? So yeah, I'm the heavy metal QVC. Except I don't do like partial payments on stuff. Like, just order it and I'll send it to you. Walter, get the cheaters. No. So look, it's like a metallic tag. It's sparkly. So the lights in here, the lights for the show are so bright that it like could not read it. Never mind the fact that the writing is like crazy small, but I don't need cheaters just yet. Love the new print, says Denise. Thank you. I wanted something that was a little more metal. I love all of the artwork and everything that we've done so far, but I definitely wanted something that was a little bit more metal. So I'm super excited about them. Build a Mistress Carrie store, like a brick and mortar store. I can't even think about that. Like, I'm happy with the online store and being able to go out and set up merch booths and places so that people can come and shop in person. But have you put one aside for Sully? Sully can have what he wants. The next time I see him, I'll bring him a shirt. I'm not going to give it to him, though, if he's not going to wear it. I'll give it to bands like Corey Taylor. I gave him when he wore it on stage. I was like, hell yeah. Melissa says, Carrie, Marcy asked if the skull on the hoodies is the same as on the tapestry in MCHQ. It is not. So the tapestry was a gift from my husband when I decided to build MCHQ. The thing about making a room soundproof is that sound is all about reflection. So like if you think about like racquetball, right? That you're in a cube and the sound is the ball bouncing off of everything. So you can't just have a room with smooth walls, and it doesn't make sense to soundproof a wall with foam and then put big glass fronted pictures on the wall on all sides, because the sound will bounce from glass to glass to glass. Not as much as like bare walls, but it can still reflect and bounce a little bit. And so that wall that's behind me in MCHQ with the big skeleton, he bought me that tapestry online. I did not design that skull. This skull is custom for me. Thank you to Latini Creative Solutions, by the way, because in order for me to be able to print it on stuff and sell it, I have to own it. Like, it has to be my design. And so they came up with a custom skull that this is mine, which I thought was really cool. Like, I don't know. I'm just kind of in love with it. So super excited for you guys to get all of this stuff. But no, it does not. I mean, look, everything in my life has skulls in it. You guys know this by now. Even my wedding rings have skulls on them. So the fact that I didn't have gear with skulls on it, it didn't make any sense. And now I have a skull set of artwork that I could see myself making like baby onesies with just the skull on the front, which I think would be totally badass. But we got to get through Father's Day with the dad onesies first. The artwork, absolutely beautiful, says Jessica. Thank you very much. Hate the bounce, says Jonathan. When you're trying to record audio, the sound reflecting off the walls makes it really, really hard to record and have it sound good, which is why, you know, radio studios and stuff, they have all of those padded walls to, sometimes they have to pad the ceiling. You're never going to go into a recording studio with hardwood floors in the actual booth where the singer is or whatever, because the sound reflects all over the place. That's why it's carpeted. So that's why that big tapestry is on the wall. But it is a different skull than the one that's on the hoodies and stuff. Imagine a kick drum logo for bands with, that would be awesome. To put this on a drum head? Oh, that would be so cool. The drumsticks are in the works. Maybe the next thing is Mistress Carrie drum heads. That would be freaking badass. Eric says, next up, Mistress Carrie fake tattoos for kids. Don't think I haven't already looked into it. Way ahead of you, buddy. Way ahead of you. All right, Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass holders, get merch at a discount every time we come out with new stuff. They find out about it first. They get to look at the advanced mock-ups of it, and they also get to buy it at a discount. So the merch discount codes for the blankets, the onesies, and now the 3/4 sleeve new shirts and the hoodies. If you have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, you have all of those discount codes already. I'm aiming for possibly a live stream on Monday night. I can't do it on Sunday night this week, and I don't want to do it before the big gig because I want to be able to tell you stories about the big gig. So Backstage Pass holders, possibility of a live stream this Monday night, but it's not 100% yet because of the big broadcast on Tuesday. But because we're not doing the War Room next week, I wanted to get together next week with the Backstage Pass holders. You find out who's going to be on the podcast before anybody else, so you can submit podcast interview questions. You get travel blog updates, early access to event info and tickets, and exclusive concert ticket giveaways. Cage the Elephant tickets to see him August 22nd at the Xfinity Center. Those tickets are up for grabs right now if you have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, and more tickets are coming because there are so many shows. So if you don't have a Backstage Pass, go to patreon.com/Mistress Carrie or just click the Patreon logo at mistresscarrie.com. I also want to remind you about all the places that you can find me online. You guys know all of this already. You're watching me on a bunch of them. Twitter, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Cameo, YouTube, Patreon, and we stream on Twitch now, and then the podcast has its own IG and Threads accounts as well. And I also want to remind you guys about the new veterans group that I have on Facebook, the Mistress Carrie Veterans Rock group on Facebook, which is a group that is put together for the sole purpose of organizing veterans, disseminating information about resources, about events, and also veteran-owned businesses and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff on there. People are constantly posting about events that are coming up. If you post anything that's not veteran-related, it's getting pulled down. Every once in a while, somebody wants to talk about music on there. That's not what it's for. This group is specifically to get out information about all of these veterans organizations and all of these events that are going to be happening all year. And also for veterans to have a place to go to ask questions about filing for benefits or, looking for a job or wanting to promote their veteran-owned businesses, to really give veterans a place that they can go to connect with other veterans and also civilians that want to support veterans in any way that they can. So if you haven't joined the Mistress Carrie Veterans Rock group on Facebook, you can join that now. Just go to the Mistress Carrie page, go to groups. It's right there. It's the only one that I've put together. And join the group and post about events, post about resources. If you're in need of help, it's a great place to ask questions. It's also a great place to try and track down people that you may have served with. So if you guys can help me get the word out about this group by sharing it on your Facebook pages with all of your battle buddies, to be like, guys, this is a place where we can turn to for information and to find out about events that concern us. So let's get this group grown. It's free. I'm not financially benefiting from this. It's just that there's so much going on that I wanted there to be a place for all of that and just veteran stuff to happen. And it's got like almost 1,000 people in it, I think, already. So I'm super excited about that. Keith says, what the F do you do at work where you get to beat it? I don't even know what you guys are talking about at this point. Just posted about a Disabled Veterans of America 5K at Castle Island in November every year into the group. Thanks, Bish. Oh, you guys are talking about the sperm bank stuff. Oh my goodness. Let's see. See, this is why I have to have a separate group for veteran stuff, because people are always putting up memes and talking about music, and I wanted it to be super focused on just veterans stuff. So that's why it's up there. All right, guys. I got to be up early. I'm doing mornings for the network tomorrow morning, so I got to be up bright and early tomorrow morning. So don't forget, episode 203 of the Mistress Carrie podcast goes live at midnight tonight. Welcoming back Lee Kakati from Pop Evil, episode 203, and a bonus episode coming by the end of the week to the podcast as well. I just don't want to tell you who it is yet in case things fall apart, but fingers crossed that bonus episode is going to happen by the end of the week, which I'm super excited about. So Wednesday, you guys got to see this. Look at her. She fell asleep with her toys. Well, now I just woke her up talking about her. She just went over and laid down. If you guys wonder whether or not she plays with all the toys that you guys sent her, all of them, every single one of them she plays with. You are so spoiled. You just curled up Wednesday. You look like you're in a drunken stupor with all of your cocktails all over you. I can't handle her. Wednesday, everybody says goodnight. All right, guys, I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Don't forget, no War Room next week. I'll be up in Portland for the tailgate tour next week. But Cocktails in the War Room, episode 274, 2 weeks from tonight. I will see you guys then. Good night, everybody. Say good night, Wednesday.